Going back to Bob Chapman. Bob, I want to try to shut up during this segment and get into the new Federal Reserve outrage in the next segment. That's a top story at Infowars.com. But continuing, this is not just us saying this. The UN, the rest of them, they admit that they're going to cut carbon by about 30% in the next 10 years and fade the rest of it in. But that's not even the issue. It's the regulatory power to selectively regulate whoever they want. You add that with a water grab bill or anything that has water above or below ground, that's the whole country has water underground, is under total federal jurisdiction, no Bill of Rights, no Constitution. I've read the bill on air. I mean, you cannot make up the magnitude. The health care takeover, all these anti-free speech bills, all these anti-gun forced inoculation bills, mainstream news saying, yeah, we're getting ready to forcibly inject you. Arkansas state health officials saying, yes, mandatory vaccines are the law. They're going to force you to do it. I got the audio coming up. I mean, Bob, it's Mayday level here.
Well, it certainly is. Wait till people find out that the gasoline prices are going to go up between 75 cents and $1 a gallon. That ought to make them quite happy. Never mind all of the things that we've talked about. And you're going to see, because of the way this thing is structured, about at least 15% of the oil and refining companies are going to move out of the United States. And because of the tax that they're putting in place here for domestic producers, and no money will be invested in any further facilities in the United States in regard to the production of gasoline and byproducts.
And by the way, Bob, we told everybody back in the mid-1990s, I remember reading your newsletter then, that NAFTA and GATT was going to deindustrialize us. It has. Now, you're telling them, and the oil companies are already saying they're leaving, and it's going to happen, so I hope all of you enjoy losing your jobs. Go ahead.
Well, that's really the bottom line on it. Job losses. It again, as you pointed out earlier, is a method of bringing the United States and Europe and Canada financially and economically to their knees so that the people can be forced into accepting world government. This is the last and final move. And quite frankly, if this legislation is passed and we do not get 1207 and a bill behind it to do away with the Fed, plus if we do not get tariffs on goods and services, there is no other avenue for us legally to take in the United States. And we will have to take whatever action we think is necessary to change those things.
This is up against the wall. This is crunch time. This is everything we've talked about now coming to a head, entering the final phase. I mean, I just hope listeners understand that we're fighting for our lives right now, our financial lives, our liberty, our culture, our future. It's just hellish, Bob.
It certainly is. It's all of the things that we've been afraid of. In fact, the articles that you mentioned earlier on by Rockefeller, I used them as a model to write an article in 1967 for American Mercury warning people that this is what was going to happen and this is the route they were going to take, and unfortunately it all has come true.
Now here you are, Bob. Tell us about that article when we get back, then we'll get into the head of the snake, the private Federal Reserve, and how we can beat this and take some phone calls at 1-800-259-9231. Stay with us. All right, Bob Chapman is our guest. Thank you for joining us today. Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com are the websites. His site's InternationalForecaster.com. Your call's coming up here in a few minutes. But I wanted to get into another subject other than the big bill before us to allow the government to take over every facet of society and everything involving carbon, all carbon gases. The complete life cycle on this planet, terra firma, third planet out on a standard number star system, orbiting 2/3 of the way out on the spiral arm of the Milky Way galaxy. Yes, carbon on a carbon-based planet is evil. The plants breathe it. It must be banned. 800-833-6354. 800-833-6354 is the main switchboard number. It's busy off and on. Got a bunch of other numbers posted on the front page of Infowars.com. Backup numbers, alternative numbers, big giant banner right there in the middle of the page. You cannot miss it. Please, your calls do matter. But also call talk radio, call local news stations. You know, our alternative media power is getting to where we can cause a buzz. We can force stories out into the mainstream. We didn't have that before. But we still don't have what the big national media can do. Even though they're dying, they can still, when somebody like Michael Jackson or Farrah Fawcett or Ed McMahon dies, they can hype that up and distract and cover up the news. Who cares about O.J. Simpson trying to steal back some of his own memorabilia at a Las Vegas hotel room compared to the rest of the world? Who cares about Michael Jackson dying? Who cares about Anna Nicole Smith from Mahia, Texas? I mean, it doesn't matter. This affects you. This affects your children. So, Bob, finish up with their master plan to destroy the economy, what this managed economy is about, getting full control of it so they can then carry out eugenics. Got to get you bankrupt so they can control you. And then I want to get into this incredible behavior of Bernanke in the Federal Reserve. We got Bob there?
Hello?
Okay, they didn't have you faded up. Sorry, go ahead, Bob.
You're going to have this tremendous increase in taxes if this bill is passed. You also have your the industrial heartland ripped to pieces. It's sort of like this a giant ditch been dug right down the middle of the country vertically, and so they're going to pursue the economic and financial humbling of America, and that process has been underway for some time, and now we're seeing the fruits of it, and we're seeing the best Congress that money can buy laying down for anything that these one worlders want. And you can expect more of the same. In fact, I still can't figure out why 258 congressmen co-sponsored Ron Paul's bill. You keep on thinking, is it going to get out of committee? Maybe they know it's not going to. Or maybe they're going to change their votes. Or maybe the Fed really doesn't want to be around anymore. Maybe they want to turn everything over to the IMF. I mean, there's so many ifs here, trying to figure out which way this is going to go. But no matter which way it goes, it's not going to be good unless we can cut them off at the pass in the House and the Senate. And by the looks of things, we're not doing so hot. I think the difference in the original vote was about 17 votes in order to allow debate. They weren't going to allow anything. And they were just going to shove it through without anybody even seeing the bill. It's incredible. It's just like a dictatorship. And so this is serious, serious, serious trouble. And I hope that all the people who are listening pass this information on about this cap and trade legislation. I did a lot of radio programs on this over the last few months, and I never thought that it would get to this. I thought the whole thing would get shot down, which shows you the enormous power that these bankers in Wall Street and these other internationalist types have over our Congress.
Yeah, they're not moving on every front, as I said, bum rushing us, because they don't intend to pass it all. They are going for broke on totally taking over health care, federalizing that, totally taking over all industry, all activity, human respiration, plant respiration, listing it as a toxic waste, carbon dioxide, plants breathe, humans exhale, the plankton breathe. They are passing the total Federal Reserve takeover of society, not just unlimited money, but unlimited financial power. It looks like they're going to pass the Cyberbullying Act. States are passing versions of it that says they arrest you, not even if somebody files a complaint. If the government says what you said could hurt someone's feelings, you're charged with a federal felony for your speech. I mean, Bob, this is all the 180 degrees, polar opposite of freedom.
And they're going to end up shutting all the churches down, too. And the synagogues.